Alright, so let's take another look here at the Mobile Build Tools. So, what are we going to work on today? Oh, hello. We have people watching. So, let's look at the task. So earlier we were working on the automatic build versioning and kind of refactoring this. So we have an Android build generator that we actually simplified. So we're using the same tooling that the Xamarin framework uses now for manipulating the Android manifest and then the info plist and all that. So that's like way improved over what it was, and it can read their stupid binary format, which is awesome. Let's see. So the other thing that we needed to do was the templating. And I know I started this and I can't remember where I was on this. So, of course I did that. Android app manifest. No, it's not. Good God, what is going on? Okay. So, I changed the wrong base, didn't I? Okay. So what we need to do is we need to make this an abstract class. And this is not the Android one. This is the base templated manifest generator. Okay. Now I should probably I need to change the name of this here to match. You know, it used to work if you just changed the file name, it would change everything, and that no longer works, which is really annoying. Okay, templated manifest generator. Okay. So, got our base there. Then, okay, so this is the templated plist generator. Okay. Okay. And, oops. Go to, and then there should be I guess that's fine, because not all platforms have to be stupid, right? Oh, did I say that out loud? Okay, so if we take this and we go for, what is it, the templated Android app manifest, we'll call it. All right, and we also want to inherit from the base. We're going to override again on, no, we don't, yeah. And then what did we do? So I need to bring this property in here for the reference assemblies. I'll explain this in a minute. Took me a little bit to find this earlier. Oh, and then this is what it was right here. Okay. Who says that you actually do anything in programming? It's all copy-paste, I swear. I'll bring that in, and then there's the manifest output path. Why is it upset? Oh, that's why. You have to go to a next document and then I do, don't I? What is the... Let's do that. Think that'll work. I hope that'll work. Put it that way. Okay. So now we have our Android manifest. And then we just need to save the manifest. Shocking, I know. Override and then save. Why can we not? Okay, there we go. Create? No. Is there a version? Yes. Yes, there is. Okay. So now I need to bring that back to an Xdoc. I mentioned I hate XML. And we want to parse the manifest. Okay. And then we're going to load the app manifest by doc, and then again with this nonsense here. Actually, you know, let me... I know it's a crazy thought. You know, do things one time. Okay. There. Change that around, and so we'll make this the Android versions. Okay. Cool. And then we just need to write this. Or no, that was not the one. Write to file. So, and then for that one, it was the manifest output path again. So we're just overwriting it. Okay. That looks good, I think. Cool. So now we have our templated plist generator that is creating our info plist. Technically, this will do the entitlements too. I don't know if the entitlements is something we should do. I just need to write the actual MS-Build task to handle it. Or actually, it's really not even the task, it's the target that I have to write for that. And then, okay, so Android and iOS are taken care of on the templating. They're both taken care of now, so they're both updated to use the same tooling as the Xamarin Framework for versioning. Okay. So that's actually pretty cool and a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay. I'm just trying to see what we could do to make that a little easier. Oh, actually, you know what I should do is bring in some code here to do some transforms. So what was this? So the configuration manager transformation generator. Meaningful names are way too long. Okay. And I don't know why Slack wants to go on that screen. That's awkward. Anyway. And we'll go with the iGenerator. Okay. Boom. Okay. So for this, what I'm going to need is the path to the base configuration path, right? Okay. And then I need the string for the transformation, or no, let's environment config path. So what this will do, now I'm going to comment my code like I should. So this is going to take an app config, for example, and this will take like an app debug config. Yeah. Or I'm not sure I really want to do that. Let's change that. It's still a goal, but what we want is the build configuration, actually. And then, because the generator should be the one that actually decides what the file name is, not anything else. And then okay. And actually, I think that's really all I need. Yeah, it is. That's all I need. Okay. And then we're going to test my memory and find out how terrible it is. Okay, so what we need is, so we got the parent directory. I think it's get directory name, or is it, I can't remember. Is it directory get parent? That's what it is. Okay, so base config path. So now we have the parent directory of where the app config lives. And then what we're going to do, so we have the config file name. Okay, and we're going to get the file name without the extension. Base config path. Okay. And then basically what we are going to do, all right, so we're going to say the transformation config path is path combine, and then it's the parent directory. I can type really, I swear. Config file name dot the build configuration, and then it's path.getExtension. I should just do .config, but I won't. Config path. Okay. So that should be good. Oh, whoops. Directory info. Okay. So now I have that. Okay. And there was somewhere in here, in the configuration manager, I had a transform. And so we are going to steal this. Here it is. Okay. So we'll copy that. It doesn't actually need to be static. The XML writer. Okay. And it, oh shit, I don't actually have log exception on here. Well, that's not cool. Log warning, log warning. The heck is log error? Oh no, we don't care about log error. I mean, we do, but I don't. Log error from exception is actually what I want. Okay. So I'll take that and void exception. Okay. And now that'll complain, and we'll implement that. All right. So, okay. So now we can log from an exception. Boom, we'll blow up your entire day because that's how I roll. Okay. So with this transform document, so we've got the file here. So we've got two files. Where's that? Okay. So basically what happens here, so this is our like app config right here. And so we parse that as an X document. And then this is our transformation configuration, like for debug or whatever. So we end up creating this compile transform object, and we load in the transform config file, and then we do the transformation between the two of them, and then we return back an updated X document that we can do something with. And so in this particular case, what we're going to do is we're going to get the so we'll have the updated config, and we'll get that from this transform document. And then, so we'll pass in the base config path, and then the transformation path. Boom, done. Okay. It is that simple. I love it. And then what we're going to do, because we actually don't want, and I always forget what the parameter is. not project directory. Output, no. Is it in here? I think it is in here. No, that's not it either. There it is. Okay. So we want this intermediate output path. I like to keep the name in my C# classes like the same as what the MS Build variable is. That way I don't confuse myself more than I have to. It might sound kind of crazy. So we have this intermediate output path that's like basically your OBJ, or yeah, the OBJ file or object file, depending on what you want to call it. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually copy that there. Yeah, so anyway. So we have our updated config, and then what we want is, so we're going to take the updated config, and then we're going to write to, oh damn, I need a full XML writer. Let's see here. Or actually, hold on, is there a save method on here? I think there might be. Save. Oh, yeah. File name. Yay. Okay. I love it when it's simple. Okay, so what we're going to do here, so we're going to combine the intermediate output path with the path get file name. And yeah, so path get file name, and we're going to take the transformation config path. Or no, that's not right. We want the base config. So whatever the base config was called, like app config, we want to copy that to the intermediate output path because that is not the transform document. We don't want to screw with the original. And then we're going to return that basically. So I'm trying to remember. I thought I had a task in here that I had outputs. Oh, I do. Yeah, it's the CSS one. So I'm trying to remember how I did that. Process files. Okay. Interesting. Always fun when you go back and look at code you wrote like a long time ago, and this code I wrote like a year ago. I love how it says 1 day ago, but that's actually not true. It really isn't. I wrote it like a year ago, and then I just moved everything into a completely new project a day ago. This is where Git lies. Okay. So, okay, so we have, where were we? We have the configuration manager, or the config generator. We're transforming the document, and now we save the document, but what we need, actually we need this path. So I need to save, so out of our output path. Okay. And I need to do something with this. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do, because this obviously returns a void. So returning a void, it's kind of useless. Oh, I'm trying to think here. So with the processor, I'm trying to remember what I did to generate the... Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. That's easy. Let's see. Whoa. Whoa. Oh no. Wrong. So we'll say an I task item, output item, get private set, and output item, because it gets really pissed off if this is null, by the way. Let's see. Oh, actually, no, I think that can be null. I don't have to initialize null. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up as I go. Let's just tell the truth. Output. Yeah, okay, yeah. I guess keep it consistent, right? Why not? Output file. Boom. Okay. I just need a semicolon. Okay, so now I execute, I create the output item, and then I don't have a task for this yet. Okay. Well, I guess let me create a task for this. And we'll say that we have, what did I call this again? Configuration Manager Transformation Task. That is not a mouthful. I don't care what anybody says. It makes perfect sense to me. And that's all that really matters. So, whatever. Okay. And I should really say it makes perfect sense to me right now. Ask me in 5 minutes and I'll have no idea. Yeah. So, So we have our transformation. I'm just thinking. Okay. So really what we want here, I think, is the project root path. I see this being abused if people are doing something other than just app config. I kind of want to force app.config. I think that's probably a better approach. And then if you want to go and load some other config file, fine, I don't really care. Well, you know what? I'm going to change the name of this. So let's call this the Configuration Manager Handler Task. Okay. And we'll call it the handler task there. Log. Okay. And did we succeed? Well, yeah, if we didn't have an exception, we absolutely did. So, yeah. And then let's see. What we're gonna end up with is, so we're gonna have a list of iTask result outputs. New list. Okay. Oh, for crying out loud. What was it? Okay, so obviously it was not iTask result. What was it? iTask item. Sorry. iTask item. Okay. So we have that, and then output public, and then iTask array, or sorry, iTask item array outputs equals outputs dot to array. Okay, so what we are going to do, I'm just trying to think here. So we're going to say that I'm trying to think. So basically anything that starts with, okay, so we want basically we're going to, I guess, do a for each, right? Which means I don't even need that stupid thing in here. Yeah, I don't need that because I'm just going to do it here. But whatever, okay. So we're going to say var file in path, or no, directory enumerate file. Okay, and then we want the project root path. And then we want app star config. We'll say .config. And then what is our option? Top directory only. Yeah, we don't want to go searching because that's just ridiculous. But one thing actually we do need, because we had, actually a couple things we need, right? So we need the build configuration, and we also need the intermediate output path. So we'll grab those, because those are both going to be needed here. And then I'm going to make all of these actually required. So, because there's never really a time where any of those should be null or empty. So I want to make sure that that I know those. Okay. So we're going to iterate over these, and then what we actually want to do is we want to copy all of them to the output path. So I guess technically, if we're copying them anyway, right? Then I can do a secondary transformation. It doesn't really matter. And I guess the other thing I want to do here is I'm just going to say if the file exists. And then I'm going to take path.combine in the project root and app.config. It does help if you spell it correctly. Just throwing that out there. Okay. So what we're going to do then is, well, I already did it, right? So only this time it's actually easier. All right, so the output path, or var output file, I guess, is going to be path.combine the intermediate output path with the file, oops, the path dot get file name, and we're going to pass in the file. Okay, so now we have the intermediate output path. With our new file, so we've cut our, okay, and then we just need to do file. Is there a copy? I can't remember. Yes, there is a copy. Look at that. Output. Okay. Okay, so now that's copied, and then we can create the generator. And we actually don't need this stupid intermediate output path here, because now we can overwrite, right? Because we're not going to be working with the base one in your project in the first place. And then, okay, so we're going to take a new configuration manager or handler, new configuration transformation generator, I think it was. That was a freaking mouthful. Love it. Okay. So for our base config path, we have path.combine, again, our intermediate, with app.config, right? Because that should have been copied over. And then for build configuration, we're just going to pull in the build configuration we currently have. For the debug output, we'll say it really doesn't matter, but I guess I'm trying to think, does it matter? I guess it could matter. Yeah, no, actually, I kind of think it does. Because if you wanted to debug this, that would actually not be a terrible thing. But it would mean I need to actually ask for the debug in the first place. Okay. So we'll also ask for that. Okay, so now debug output, boom, and log. I guess we'll go back because what did I do? There was some funky thing I did. There it was. Okay. So, we'll try parse, I guess. Debug output, debug. Okay, so, and debug. Cool. So we better have been able to debug that damn thing, is basically what I'm getting at. Okay, so logging. Okay. So now we have our generator, and then we just need to execute. And we're done. Okay. And that is as hard as that is. So it really sounds a lot harder when you don't know anything about this. But yeah, so that's basically what I did. So to kind of recap here, so we're getting the project root path, which is actually comes right from MS Build, takes us absolutely nothing. We're getting the build configuration, so that'll be like, is it debug, is it release, is it a store build, and then we're getting the intermediate output path. So again, that's like the object folder or the OBJ file or folder. And then there's a parameter that I use in everything here. So there's a concept of a debug output in the Mobile.BuildTools. So if you do have that set to true, then we'll want to handle that. And then really the final thing, okay, so then we copied all of your app configs, and then we have our transformation that occurs on the actual app config. So we're looking at the build configuration again for that. And then, and then obviously we just execute. So the only thing we need to do though, before we finish up on this task, is we're going to come in here and then, so we have our updated config, and we want to basically say, if we were debugging, so if debug output is true, then what we want to do is we want to log a message. And so, I mean, this is really terrible, by the way. I really don't recommend you do this because this might have secrets in it that you don't want. But, yeah. So, so we'll say the transformed, the transformed app config. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, why am I doing that? That's stupid. And then here, we'll do this so you can actually find it in your build logs, because, you know, it's like 10,000 lines long. So, and this is not going to exactly help. Huh? Oh. Whatever. Doesn't need to be nullable. Get the hell out of here. So we have our updated config, and we are going to go to string on that sucker. Okay. And then I guess the other thing we might want to do, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing to do, actually. It'd be probably a really good thing to do. Let me take that. Okay, and then we'll basically do the same thing down here. And then I will say the initial app config. Okay. Cool. And then that'll give you debug output. So that way you can see what the initial was and then what the transformed was. That way you have some way of actually debugging your build. So debugging is always kind of nice. I might be a little partial to it, but you know, whatever. Okay. What is this complaining about? Oh. It requires it to be nullable. What was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. Well, you can do that, though. If for some reason it's null, you know, whatever. Yeah. Oh, actually, that would really be bad. I don't want that at all. Yeah. So actually, what we're going to do is we're going to turn a null here. Like, that made sense in the configuration manager, so that way it doesn't blow up your app. But here, we actually do want to do something a little different. Yeah. Okay, and then we're just going to return, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I should probably have a check there. Updated config is null. Then we return. Okay. Cool. So now we have support for the configuration manager. And then I just need to come up here into the build and into shared, into my configuration manager, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to kind of steal something because I'm lazy. And yeah. Okay. So I'm not really sure where I want this yet in the build pipeline. So I'll have to do a lot of testing, which I'm not going to do on here, but I'll have to figure that out. So this is actually going to require 2 parts, I think. And I got to think about how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to say we have the configuration manager transform and copy. Good God, that is freaking long. I keep coming up with these terribly long names right now. Oh, I love it. Oops. Okay. So we're going to add that there. We're going to call that that. Hey, look at that. You know, this is like the other thing. When I have, well, when I go back and I'm like, oh, yeah, I already had something for this. Like, I should just use what I already had. Yeah. Project directory. There you go. That makes more sense. It really does. And then configuration. What was it? So this is where I'm just absolutely terrible on all of this. So the build configuration. And then the intermediate output path. Okay, and then I had something. Oh no, that's wrong project. Where's one of my debugs? Because I cannot remember what I called this stupid thing. Okay. Oh, I have a specific one for that. Whoops. Wrong one. Mobile.TOOLS debug. By the way, I just want to say, if you ever think I wrote docs for other people, you're completely wrong. I wrote them so I can go back and remember what the hell I did. Just kind of saying. Okay. Mobile tools, debug. Okay. Actually, I'm trying to remember here. Build tasks, targets. Yeah, outputs, okay. I don't know what the outputs are. That's true. I guess I could. That's a very, very good point. So what I could do, actually, I can create another target, because this is a lightweight target, right? And we're going to collect app configs. And I guess technically it doesn't really matter. So I can just say before targets and then core compile, and I should be fine. Yeah. Okay. So this is, yeah. So this whole thing actually becomes a couple steps. So the first thing that we really want to do is we really want to identify. So we're going to say mobile build tools configs, right? Oh, no, we're not going to close that way. And we're going to include, yeah, so we're going to include this. App star config. That should grab everything, really. And then, so this is going to be like an optimization step, basically. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say that we have some inputs, and I'm trying to remember exactly how we did this. We did it for the SAS here. So where was it? Actually, I need to copy this too. So I just go around copying stuff I've done before. I don't know about anyone else, but it makes my life way easier. Item name, task parameter, generated CSS files. No, okay. So obviously we'll need to change that, but oh, huh. I could make this like something that actually makes sense here. So we will say output configs, okay. And then we'll come over here. And again, I'm trying to remember where was it? Oh, okay. So, okay, yeah. So I was trying to remember because I know I did something really funky here, and yeah. So basically, what I want to do then is to say that the inputs are basically there. And then yeah, so actually I want to do that same thing here. Yeah, so I want to do the same thing here. And we're going to do, okay. Inputs and then the outputs. Only we're going to do like this, because it's obviously a different name, and extension. Okay. So yeah, so that's, well, we don't really need the recursive path because I don't care about recursive path. All right. So what this is going to do now, so this is like a lambda, an MS build lambda, and so we're grabbing any of the configs that happen to live inside the root directory, and then the next thing that we're doing, so we have that as a collection, which it could be, 0, it could be a whole bunch, and then if there are any inputs, then this task will actually run. And if there are not, then it will be ignored. And then, like, the beauty of this is we're saying that this build task is going to touch all of these files, and then it's going to do something and transform it into this output path. And so as long as none of these change, and like none of these change, then like we're golden, and like MS Build will ignore it, so you don't have to like pay the price of the task every single time it runs. So it's kind of cool there. Okay, so we have our transform and copy. Then we have our output path. So like I actually really love this because I can go back and look at what I did. Task parameter. Oh, I guess I need both, huh? Okay. So we generated a file, and here. Crap. Here, let me just, boom. Okay. So output configs. That's right, I almost forgot. Okay. So this is going to tell it that we wrote files, we generated files, and all that good jazz. And then the next thing that we need to do, okay, so we did this right afterward, right? So we created an embedded resource, but we actually don't want to do that in this task. So what we're going to need to do is something a little bit trickier. Okay. So we're going to, I think, I can't remember exactly what it was. So we're going to do something like target name, and then we'll say, boy, what is it? Oh, shit. Oh, you know what? Here. So if I am doing all of this, I need to put them somewhere that I can guarantee a path, right? So I actually don't want, like, I don't want this path to just be, trying to think how to explain it, but like, it shouldn't just be the intermediate output path. It needs to like be something like configs and then, yeah. So if I put it in the configs path, yeah, that'll be much better. Much, much better. So let's do that then. So we're going to say configs, right? Okay. So that way I always know. So even if this target doesn't run, then I know that I can still depend on, like, because this target will always run as long as the outputs aren't there and the inputs aren't there, right? So if the inputs are there and the outputs aren't, it'll run. But if there are no inputs, then it doesn't care. It won't do anything. So it'll always make sure that there are outputs as long as there are inputs. So we need to make sure we do something at the platform level, though. And we'll call it, I don't know, handle platform app config. And then we'll say it's after targets. And then we'll say, so we want it to be after the collect app configs, and then we want to make sure that it is also after this transform and copy nonsense. Okay. And then here we're going to do another item group, and I can't remember. I have to look at another project here. So I'm going to cheat and go to my GitHub here. GitHub. The Android asset? Something like, I can't remember anymore. I need like the specific build attribute. Okay. I think, yeah, it's just Android resource. Okay. So then it would be Android resource include, and then and actually the other thing we can do is kind of like this. We'll basically do the inputs. Okay. Yeah. It has inputs, it has no outputs. So, and then, yeah, so as long as we have that, then boom, right? Well, I don't even really care about that. I just, and then, yeah, that should be it, basically. So, and then, yeah, so this is going, yeah, so this should run after my other configuration targets. And then all this is going to do is just make sure that these are kind of added. And then I think I might actually need to also link them as well. But this is like a different type of linking. This is like a stupid type of linking. So it's just basically like this. and then like this. So yeah. Okay, so that takes care of Android, and then we need to do iOS, and of course it's not Android resource on there. Let's see. I think this is bundle resource, right? Yeah. Should be bundle resource. Okay. And then, okay. And it really is going to be the same on Mac too, so we'll just kind of copy that over. And I don't really care about the other ones at the moment, because I just don't. Let's see. Now, well, the other thing I guess I could do is on Net Standard, what we're going to end up doing is something a little different. So I think on Net Standard what we're actually going to do is we're not going to leave them where they are per se. So we're going to take them and then we're going to do a copy, and then the source files, yeah, so source files would be, shit. So it's they're gonna make me do this, aren't they? Okay. So we'll call this, is this now the Net Standard one? So this will be processed app config. We don't actually care about linking on this one. And then, alright, so we'll call the copy task, which is built in, which is kind of nice. But I have to have an item group of includes to like actually pass into this, which is where it becomes a little annoying, because if you don't, it will blow up on you. And then, yeah. So I can never remember anything anymore. I think it's just output directory, or I must build output. Where is it? No. One moment while I look this up. So yeah, it's the intermediate output, but I don't care about intermediate output. At least not for this at all. Let's see here. Output. No. I think it's just output path. I'm pretty sure, but I want to look that up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just output path. If it's not, I'll come back and fix it later because it won't work. That's standard. Okay. So, now I know you're probably wondering, why would I copy it to the output path and not just make something copy to output on build automatically? Well, because if I did that, then you wouldn't get the cool transform, and I don't want to have to like handle net standard uniquely. So, and this will also work for like Net Core app too. So if you wanted to use like the configuration manager on Net Core app, then you could do that. So hopefully you will use this. So I think this is actually really kind of cool in what we're kind of aiming at. So you have the ability now, or you should have the ability theoretically. I obviously have a lot of testing to do on this, but yeah, so you should have the ability to have a configuration manager with app.config that will transform on build. You should be able to load, like you should be able to access basically any of the configs that you had in your project head. You should be able to access that during runtime and swap out configurations. So if you need to do that for whatever reason, you could. Again, I don't recommend it for 99.9% of people, but I do know that there are valid use cases out there. They're just very few and far between. So if you are one of the few, then go for it. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I love this comment. It is so true, too. Yes, that is absolutely right, because the Windows hosts on Azure DevOps are stupid and have to have some unique thing in where they handle everything. So, yeah. So we have the configuration is set up now. So now I guess like the next like real big thing is going to be this CLI deal. That'll be fun. And I still need to, actually I guess I could do that. I could work on this right now too. So like we stole a little bit from here where we're transforming the document. Why is it like acting like it's never used? It is used. Okay. So, oh, because, yeah. Visual Studio is kind of stupid. So, we've implemented this, I think, on Android. So I gotta figure this out. So I'm trying to allow people to do stupid things, which I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do. So if you want to initialize with your actual context, you can do that. Otherwise, we're going to try and grab it from the application. And we're going to default to app.config as what you should be using. But if you wanted to do, you know, Fred.json and it's all XML based, I guess you could. If you actually did it in JSON, that would be good for you, but we're not going to handle it. So, because I just don't feel like it. Yeah, but you can put in whatever file name you want, and as long as it's an asset, then you're fine. You just kind of are going to be responsible for that one. Because I'm only handling like anything that is app.something config. Let's see. So I do give you the ability as well to kind of transform with this init right here. But what I'm kind of thinking it would be nice is if I maybe hold on to this. So we'll say current config name, I guess. app.config. And I'm really sick and tired of actually typing that. So I'm going to add yet one more thing in here, right? So we're going to say private constant string default config name. And oops. And actually, I don't want that to be at this level. I want this to be at all platform levels because I find it really stupid. But we do it anyway, whatever. Oh, whoops. We're going to move that to another class or another file. Okay. Oops. I cannot spell. Okay. Yeah, well, I guess, we have all these other constants. Might as well put it in with them. And might as well keep it alphabetical. Okay. So, now as I go through here, yeah. And then we'll do that, and we'll do that, because I can. And then do it on iOS. Oh, whatever. Maybe I need to actually. Well, I might need to link that differently. So. Hopefully that'll work. Oh boy. Dropping all kinds of frames, huh? Fun. Yeah. All right. So I think that we're pretty good there, actually. Oh, so we wanted to transform this environment, though. So okay, so now we have a way of actually tracking this. So I guess what I need to do is, so the current config name is going to be this config, right? And then, oops. Okay, current config name is config. Because, yeah. Okay, so transform X document. Okay, yeah. That's right. Okay. So basically, what we're going to do here is pretty much the same thing. Only it's just different enough, I think, that we kind of have to redo all of this. Okay, so the config is actually going to be the current config. And then, just trying to think. So what we want is well, this is going to get really tricky because of the. Oh, we'll try it. We'll try it. Just trying to think here how we're going to do this because. Oh no. Because Android is actually easier. Okay. Because I don't have to care. So what we have is, oh, it's going to get really long and annoying. Hold on. So we're going to say the file name is path.get file name without extension. Okay. And then say file name. And then really, again, I don't really care because you should always just be using .config, and I'd rather just lock you into that or finig, whatever. So oh, I was like, what? Okay. All right, so now we've transformed, and yay, cool. I like that. I think that's good. I think I'm going to be able to refactor a lot of this, honestly, to be like more shared. So there's going to be less like platform specific stuff that gets duplicated. But it's like this is the part that is really annoying. Maybe I don't know. I feel like you should only, like, you shouldn't have to ever care about the assets, I feel like. And we should just kind of know automatically that, yeah, I think that's actually the way to go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say we're going to do a path combine, and we're going to combine that on the assets and then your config. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Okay. And Jesus Christ. Okay. So this is actually going to really irritate me. Private, static, well, I guess it's always going to be a stream reader, right? So stream, whoa, what the hell is that? Stream reader get stream reader. Oh, we'll call it, yeah, config, right? And then stream reader, okay, and then we'll say path, combine, config. Okay, so get stream reader config, boom. Okay. And okay. Cool. So we have that, and then we just need to bring over these these other ones. So we have the two inits, and then we have this update. So we'll bring that over. And oh, yes, I do want to actually do that too. So let me steal that. Okay. All right, so we have our current config here. Our current config is going to be there. Oh, really? Yeah. So, init update doesn't really matter. We're going to do the same damn thing. And then cool. Well, here. Okay. And get screen reader. Boom. Okay. So now we have that. Okay, so now we're transforming, we're updating. Cool. Yes, and in case you're wondering, we are linker safe, by the way, which I think is pretty awesome. I think you should always try to be linker safe. So, yeah. Now, do I want to do this, or what do I want to do? What do I want to do for UWP? Truth be told, I'm actually not sure what to do on UWP. I need to look more into UWP before I can really figure that one out. I guess we can take a look and see if I can, because I mean it's just an asset. And I have a project around here somewhere. Let's see. So what are those assets? Oh, it's just content. Okay. That's pretty easy, actually. Yeah, as long as I'm like actually looking at that, I should probably add the task here. Okay. Boom. And then, yeah, it literally goes under assets too, which is pretty cool. Truth be told, though, I don't want the recursive, because if it did recursive, it would be really bad. It would hose me badly. So let's take this recursive directory out. We're gonna like flatten everything, and yeah. So I mean, not that it ever should be, but okay. I'm going to take that out. I hope I don't regret it, but whatever. That we don't care. Yeah, that was like way different. Yes, I think we actually have this now for like all of the platforms, which is pretty cool. So I should probably reach out to Tizen and see if we can figure out like what they require, because it would be pretty cool to like work with their manifests and all that too. Okay, so we have a lot of platforms that are supported by this, which is cool. So cool. Alrighty then. Okay. So, what is this? Oh, this was a configuration manager for, okay. See, look at me. I'm like always just like squirrel. Okay. E to P. And I'm basically going to copy this. It'll probably work, honestly. So I just need to bring in path. Or, yeah, well, it'd be system.io, not like actually path. Yeah, so that should work, theoretically. And then okay, so bring system.io there. Oh, whoopsie. Okay. So I think that should be good then. So we have a configuration manager for DWP, for Net Standard and Net Core App, iOS, and for Android. We have the build task for all of them that does a transformation, and yeah. And then our automatic build versioning is updated. Generators. Okay, no. Yeah, and then we have some cool utils now that I didn't used to have. And so basically, like, what this does is it helps to process any configuration files that you might have locally. Or like any actual environment specific things. I am just thinking, which, you know, is always a dangerous thing to do. So I have to sneeze. Hate that. You have to sneeze and then, like, you can't sneeze, or yeah. Okay. Get secret prefix. Okay. So what I want to do in reality is, so I want to take a look at the build environment, and okay. So we're going to do some logic here. And we're going to say if the CI build environment, well, actually, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm just going to automatically, so if the CI build environment is App Center or, I'm trying to think here. No. I want to leave that. But, oh, and actually I can change this to something that I did earlier. Yeah. So we're going to just say platform Android. Oops. Platform is iOS. Platform UWP. Platform, shit, what was that? Mac, I think? Yeah. And then platform Tizen. So, and then here, we're just going to say the SDK. See, I get to, like, just refactor all kinds of stuff today. Not equal, platform unsupported. Huh? Oh, no. Yeah. Because if it is unsupported, then it'll return false. Okay. That simplifies that. Oh, what in the... Okay. That was weird. So... Oh. So actually, I think... So this will help. So we're going to say MB default. So that will keep, that'll, like if you do MB prefixed to like secret, then that'll keep the Windows agent on Azure DevOps or App Center from screwing with your variables, which I have needed for a very long time and have just been too busy to do anything. And again, we're just kind of get target platform and Android. And Mac. Okay, and then platform Tizen. What on earth? That was weird. Why am I doing it twice? That's weird. So don't do things twice. That's just dumb. So, yeah. And okay. So we're going to gather the environment variables. And trying to see. So, okay, so we do want to go into the load secrets. And I'm just trying to see here. Huh. I gotta go back and like really take a look at what I did. Because I made a lot of changes to the way that secrets are processed. So we're trying to make this a lot more powerful where you can kind of combine all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah. Well, I think it's also about the time that I go get something to eat for dinner. So with that, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Hey, Dan here. Hope you enjoyed another wonderful episode. Be sure to hit subscribe and like so I can keep bringing you even more great content.